Hi there, Andy Ron here with Montana Land Source with this week's video summary of the Montana Land Report for March 16th, 2022. This past week of the Montana land market has been the lowest activity since the history of tracking this with Montana Land Source, which has been over 7 years. Only 11 total property updates in the past 7 days in the Montana land market, and usually we would see around 30 property updates this time of year. So total of 11 property updates, 4 new listings, 1 property back on the market, 1 price change, 5 pending sales, and 0 sales. I'm not sure there's ever been a week, like I said, in the past 7 or so years of reporting that we've had no sales in a given week in the Montana land market. Now there are sales taking place off market. We hear about that, and there are some I know about that I can't share. And I do encourage brokers to consider posting those sales and making those sales somewhat public, not the price, we're in a non-disclosure state, but for one thing, in this low inventory environment, and brokers everywhere that I talk to are anxious and desperate for more inventory. Posting sales shows that you're active as a broker in the market and you're getting things done. So some brokers, talk about not posting their sales because they might happen extremely quick. Something comes available and they have a buyer for it already in the hopper, so to speak, and so that sale just gets done, and so they don't bother putting it on their website. They don't bother doing any marketing because the sale didn't need that. But I'm encouraging brokers to continue to put that on their website and share that with me and with Montana Land Source, because it shows activity, and when people are looking for brokers considering listing their property, that's good marketing. Like I said, I think there are properties happening off market. We've seen an increase in that in the last market cycle, which has been about 18 months. So these numbers don't reflect everything, but in general, there's no denying that the activity is just extremely down and the inventory is extremely down. And one thing I'm concerned about, and other brokers have expressed concern about as well, is there's going to be a real motivation, a real temptation to take on listings that you might not otherwise take, or price things that you might not otherwise price. One thing we see in the Montana land market, sellers often have distorted perceptions of value. It's difficult to determine value in the Montana land market, being a non-disclosure state. And in times like these, when brokers are sort of desperate for more inventory, they're more tempted to take on listings. And many brokers have acknowledged this with me in interviews, that they're willing to take on things they wouldn't otherwise take. And the problem with that is it can affect the market. If a property gets put on the market at an unrealistic price, other potential sellers see that, base their pricing on that kind of thing. So as an appraiser and as a market analyst and studier of the market, those kind of things are a little bit concerning because they essentially just distort the market. So it'll just be interesting to see, but all indications are going into 2022 just an extremely low inventory environment. And it'll just be interesting to see how this plays out. Other than that, in news, the next upcoming meeting of the Montana Farm and Ranch Brokers Association on April 7th in the morning at 8:30. We're going to have an appraiser panel with appraisers from all over the state, so that'll be an interesting thing to check out. Get a quick update from appraisers from around the state, what they're seeing so far going into 2022. So you can find that on the events calendar at mtlandsource.com, and that meeting is here in Billings in person, but it's also going to be available on Zoom. So check that out. And then other than that, I was happy and honored to be featured twice in the Billings Gazette, 2 weeks in a row, quoted on essentially the Montana land market. And the first article just in general in the Montana land market, and the second article was quoted with some info on the commenting on the Beartooth Ranch sale, which I talked about in last week's video. So thanks to Brett French, the reporter there, for reaching out and including information from Montana Land Source. So that's the report for this week. Thanks everybody for watching. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and have a safe and productive week.